If your family ever embarrassed your child and called it a joke, this will hurt to hear. My sister broke my son's birthday gifts. But she didn't know our father was silently watching and preparing consequences they couldn't escape. Birthdays are supposed to feel safe. That day felt wrong from the start. I just didn't understand why yet. My son Leo turned 7 that afternoon. He woke up early, already dressed, already smiling. He kept asking if people were coming soon. Not because he wanted gifts, but because he wanted everyone to be happy together. That was always his biggest wish. We held the party at my parents' house. The long dining table was covered in a blue cloth with balloons taped to the chairs. Leo sat carefully at the end, hands folded, waiting. He never rushed. He never grabbed. He always waited to be told it was okay. My sister Amanda leaned against the counter with a glass in her hand. She looked bored. She always did at children's events. Her eyes scanned the room like she was judging everything and everyone. "Open one," my mother said quickly, her voice tight with forced cheer. Leo smiled and picked up a large wrapped box. He peeled the paper slowly, trying not to tear it. Inside was a Lego set he had talked about for weeks. His eyes lit up. Before he could touch it, Amanda stepped forward. "Oh wow," she said loudly. "That thing is huge." She grabbed the box from his hands. I stood up halfway from my chair. My body reacted before my mind caught up. Amanda bent the box sharply in the middle. The cardboard cracked. Small pieces spilled onto the table and slid onto the floor. "There," she laughed. "Now it's opened." Someone chuckled. Then another laugh followed. Leo froze. His smile vanished. He stared at the broken box like he was trying to understand what he had done wrong. I looked around the table. No one stopped her. No one said anything. And deep in my chest, something cold began to form. I didn't know yet that this moment would change everything. The room was full of people. But my child stood alone. And everyone let it happen. Amanda didn't sit back down. She stayed standing like this was her stage. She nudged another gift across the table with her foot. "Careful," she said with a smirk. "He cries easy." My uncle laughed loudly. My mother smiled too fast, too wide. That smile meant danger. It meant she was trying to keep control. Leo reached for the next gift. His hands were shaking now. He tore the paper unevenly, nervous. Inside was a small snow globe. He loved those. He held it like it was fragile, like it mattered. Amanda reached again. "Let me see." Before I could speak, she let it drop. The sound was sharp. Glass cracked. Water spilled across the table. "Oh no," she said. "My bad." Laughter burst out again, louder this time. My son flinched hard. His shoulders jumped. Then he slid off his chair and crouched down to clean the mess with his sleeve. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'll fix it." That sentence broke something in me. He didn't ask why. He didn't get angry. He apologized. I stood up fully this time. But my feet wouldn't move. Years of habit pinned me in place. Don't embarrass anyone. Don't cause a scene. Don't ruin the day. I looked at my father. He hadn't laughed. Not once. His face was still. Too still. His jaw was tight like he was holding something back. And suddenly I realized something terrifying. He wasn't ignoring this. He was watching. And he was remembering more than just today. I had seen that look before. In mirrors. In my own childhood. Leo stayed low to the floor, picking up glass pieces carefully. He made himself small like he was trying to disappear. His eyes stayed down. His breathing was shallow. He wasn't waiting for comfort. He was waiting for the laughter to stop. I knew that posture. I learned it young. Amanda had always been the loud one, the exciting one, the one who could do no wrong. When she broke things, it was funny. When she hurt feelings, it was just her personality. I was the other one, quiet one, the helper. The one who apologized for her so things wouldn't explode. Now my son was learning the same lesson. Be small. Be quiet. Make it easy for everyone else. Felt sick. I looked at my mother. She was wiping the table again, focused on the mess, not the child. That hurt almost as much as Amanda's laughter. Then I looked back at my father. His hands were clenched so tightly his knuckles were white. He wasn't looking at Amanda. He was looking at Leo. And I realized this wasn't just about a birthday. This was about patterns, about years, about everything we never said. My heart started racing, because I knew this moment was bigger than me. Something old was about to break. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I stepped in. I moved between Amanda and my son. My body shook, but my voice didn't. Stop, I said. The room went quiet. Not calm quiet, but quiet. Amanda rolled her eyes. Oh my God, relax. You broke his gifts, I said. You embarrassed him. My mother rushed forward, panic in her eyes. She was joking, she said quickly. It's fine. She grabbed napkins and wiped harder, like she could erase what happened. Amanda laughed again. He needs thicker skin. That sentence landed heavy. Before I could respond, a chair scraped loudly behind me. My father stood up slowly, carefully, like every movement mattered. No one spoke, he didn't yell. He didn't rush, he walked to the wall and stared at a framed family photo. Smiling faces, perfect lies, he took it down. I'm tired of pretending, he said quietly. My mother froze. Amanda crossed her arms, suddenly unsure. My father turned to face us. You all laughed, he said, while a child learned he doesn't matter. Then he picked up his bag and pulled something out. A thick folder. The air changed instantly. And I knew this wasn't going to end the way it always had before. My father never raised his voice. When he spoke, people listened. This time felt different. He stood there for a long second, hands resting on the back of his chair. The room stayed silent, like everyone was afraid to breathe. I had never seen him stand like that before. Not angry, not calm, something heavier. He walked toward the wall where our family photos hung. Smiling faces, holiday poses, proof that we tried very hard to look happy. He lifted one frame off the hook and looked at it closely. We've been lying for years, he said quietly. My mother let out a sharp breath. David, please. Amanda laughed under her breath. What is this, a speech? My father turned slowly. His eyes didn't land on Amanda. They went straight to my mother. You wiped the table, he said, not the child. My mother froze, napkin still in her hand. He didn't matter to you, my father continued. The mess did. Amanda scoffed. Oh my God, it was a joke. My father finally looked at her. You humiliated a child, he said. And you enjoyed it. The room felt smaller, utter. He reached into his bag and pulled out a thick folder. He placed it on the table with a dull thud. The sound echoed louder than it should have. What's that? My uncle asked. My father didn't answer. He opened it. Inside were papers stacked, labeled, organized. I've been keeping records, he said. My stomach dropped. Amanda shifted her weight, suddenly restless. And I knew, this wasn't emotion speaking. This was preparation. And whatever was inside that folder had been waiting for years. Truth doesn't shout. Wait. Then it lands hard. My father flipped open the folder. Pages filled with numbers stared back at us. Dates, amounts, notes written neatly in his handwriting. Every loan, he said, every emergency. Amanda crossed her arms. So, parents help their kids. You never paid us back, he replied calmly. My mother shook her head. David, stop. Not like this. He turned another page. Medical bills, he said. That never existed. Another page. Business investments, he continued. That failed because there was never a business. Amanda laughed again, but this time it sounded forced. You're being dramatic. My father didn't look up. I hired an accountant, he said. The room froze. My mother made a small sound like air leaving a balloon. You did what? She whispered. I wanted to understand where our money went, he said. Now I do. He turned the folder around so everyone could see. My uncle leaned forward. His smile vanished. Amanda's face lost color. You tracked everything. She asked. Yes, I watched my sister's confidence crack. Just a little, enough to notice. Then my father turned to the last section. The paper on top looked different. Official heavy. This, he said, is why we're done. My heart pounded. My mother reached out with shaking hands. Please don't. He pulled the page free. Police report. The room tilted. And suddenly the laughter from earlier felt like it belonged to a different lifetime. Because this wasn't about money anymore. Some secrets rot families. Others poison children. This one did both. My father held the paper steady even though his voice shook. 3 years ago, he said, Amanda drove home drunk. Amanda stood up fast. That's not. She hit someone, he continued. The words hit the room like glass shattering. A 19-year-old girl, he said. Walking her dog. I gasped. My knees felt weak. She didn't stop, my father said. She ran. My mother collapsed into a chair sobbing. I was protecting her. You were protecting yourself, my father snapped. At everyone else's expense. He looked at Amanda. You took our retirement money, he said. You let your mother lie for you. Amanda's mouth opened then closed. No words came out. And after all that he said, voice breaking, you stand here and laugh at a child. Leo clung to my side. He didn't understand the story, but he felt the fear. I wrapped my arms around him. Amanda shook her head. It was an accident. So was today. My father asked, or did you enjoy this too? Silence swallowed the room. The family story we'd told for decades cracked open. And there was no fixing it. Only consequences left. Protection has limits. And today they were reached. My father closed the folder. I froze the accounts, he said. Amanda laughed once, sharp and fake. You're lying. She pulled out her phone. Her fingers moved fast. Too fast. Her face drained of color. It says declined, she whispered. My father nodded. All of them. My mother cried openly. Now where will we go? You should have thought of that, he replied. He pointed toward the door. Leave. Amanda looked around the room. No one met her eyes. She turned to me. Say something. I looked down at my son. He was calm now. Safe. No, I said. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty. The door opened. And nothing was ever the same again. No one chased them. No one apologized. And that silence mattered. The front door stayed open after they left. Rain blew inside, cold and loud. For a moment no one moved. The house felt hollow, like something heavy had finally been pulled out of it. Amanda didn't look back. She walked fast, shoulders stiff, phone clutched in her hand like it could save her. My mother followed slower, crying so hard she could barely see. They disappeared into the rain without a goodbye. My uncle stood frozen, then quietly grabbed his coat and left too. One by one the house emptied. I stayed where I was, holding Leo close. My father stood in the middle of the room, suddenly looking older. Smaller. Like all the strength he had been saving finally poured out at once. I'm sorry, he said to me. His voice cracked. I should have stopped this years ago. I didn't know what to say. There was too much grief mixed with relief. Leo looked up at him. Is my birthday over? He asked softly. My father knelt down in front of him. No, he said gently. It's just beginning. That night we cleaned the table together. Not in a rush. Not in silence. Leo helped sweep up the glass, careful but unafraid. When he went to bed, he didn't ask if anyone was mad. He didn't apologize for anything. I sat alone in the living room listening to the rain. The family I grew up with was gone. But for the first time I didn't feel abandoned. I felt free, and freedom, I learned, is quiet at first. Peace feels strange at first. Then it feels like home. 6 months passed quietly. No explosions. No drama. Just calm. We moved into a smaller place closer to the park. It wasn't fancy, but it had light. Real light. Leo picked his own room and painted one wall green. He spilled paint on the floor and laughed when it happened. No one yelled. My father moved nearby too. He smiled more. His shoulders weren't tight all the time. He spent afternoons with Leo, teaching him how to build things with wood and nails. Real tools, real trust. Leo asked questions freely now. He made messes. He didn't flinch when something fell. That was the biggest change. My mother sent letters. Long ones. Blaming me. Blaming my father. Blaming the weather. I stopped reading them after the first paragraph and threw them away. Amanda tried to call once. I didn't answer. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. At night Leo slept deeply. No nightmares. No whispers of apology before bed. I watched him one evening sitting on the floor surrounded by toys, completely relaxed. That was when I understood what safety really looks like. It looks boring, it looks quiet, it looks like a child who isn't afraid to take up space. And I knew we had done the right thing. Nothing ends without loss. We paid ours and it was still worth it. We lost a family name. We lost traditions. Holidays became smaller. Quieter, some relatives stopped calling. Others whispered. I used to think that would hurt more. It didn't, because what we gained was real. Leo didn't carry shame anymore. He didn't shrink when adults spoke. He laughed loudly now. He trusted easily. My father grieved the marriage he lost. I saw it in his eyes sometimes. But he never doubted the choice. I chose my grandson, he told me once. I should have chosen you too. That apology mattered. I grieved too. Not for my sister. For the version of family I hoped we could be. But hope isn't enough to keep a child safe. Boundaries are, and sometimes boundaries look like doors closing. I learned that love without accountability is just permission for harm. Breaking the family wasn't an act of anger. It was an act of protection. And protection always has a price. But the cost of silence is higher. Cycles end when someone decides. This time it was me. One afternoon I watched Leo building something on the floor. Pieces everywhere, no instructions, just imagination. He knocked part of it over by accident. He laughed, no fear, no apology. That was the moment I knew the chain was broken. I promised myself something then. I would never ask my child to be smaller so others could be comfortable. I would never trade his safety for peace. I would never laugh when someone else hurt him. The family I came from taught silence. The family I am building teaches courage. Not loud courage. Quiet courage. The kind that stands up and doesn't shake. I don't regret what we lost. I'm proud of what we saved. And every birthday from now on will mean one thing above all else. My child is safe, and that promise. That's one I will never break.